All right. So what do we have today? Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. And we have Greenman versus Spider-Man. What's that about, huh? Well, they're just playing. Isn't that a cute thumbnail? They were stuck together in the middle of the floor. I thought that was so cute. They're just playing, but we're not playing. Okay? So in Astro, it was a lot quieter last night. I got to just do some basic work in my office. How nice was that? Oh, nice breather. But I want you to read the lyrics to Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. That's the shorts. It's basically about the wolves in sheep's clothing. And we're done with that pretty much, unless you fall backwards and then you can go through it again. But we're pretty much past that. But the reading today, they wanted me to use that song because the cards today are talking about two towers. And it doesn't have to do with your pets or your children, but it has to do with your home and your marriage. Okay, and if you're not married, it has to do with a future marriage, right? I'm always telling you how they don't want the chosen ones together. It has to do with your home. And also, what's funny is because prior to that, my neighbor said that her neighbor, Susan with her dog Jake, said her neighbor at 2:30 in the morning, somebody broke into his house. And, that's not a big thing around here. So it's very important that you're extra cautious right now. And yesterday I kept calling them supercells, but they're actually called sleeper cells. So if anybody was trying to Google that, it's sleeper cells. And I kept calling it supercells. Well, whatever. I'm not that great with these words, as you know. And then we have reinforcement, can be spelled IN or EN. And when you read the script on the video, it does come up IN. So I think I might have spelled that right. So I don't use spell check. I don't edit. I'm just live and authentic. And even like I told you, when I use my Miss Mystic cards, if something's spelt wrong or it's sloppy waitress handwriting, that's just it. Everything about me is real. Everything about me is real. I put on a little eyeliner, little lipstick, but everything's real. Okay, so it doesn't get any more authentic than this. And that's how I roll. So, shouting at the devil. That's what we want to do. We want to stand and laugh. That was part of the lyrics. Just stand and laugh. Know you're protected. And let them finish out the rest of their movie too. The few that are left. And just let it go. Let it go. Okay, we're going to go in the other room. I changed the lights around again so my room's not purple. I'll show you what color it is. I just have so much fun. Yesterday I was a tornado. Okay, we still got the colored lights in here, but look at that. It is now bright white. Yep. Okay. Change everything around again. And this one kind of stayed the same. Lots of white lights. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Yep. So we're going to go over the cards real quick because it's really important that they are still trying, praying for readings, paying for readings, spell work, but there's a tower right after it. And they want you to look up Tower of Babel, if you don't know that story. Okay, number 16 goes to a 7. The tower's falling on their head, so just stand and laugh. You know, if we get a black eye, that's certainly better than getting our head cut off, right? Lose a couple of teeth, go back in the med bed, get them fixed. You know, it's just the way it goes. But I sure enjoyed last night not doing anything but bookwork. Okay, then we have, I wanted to read this to you guys. We've got the One-Eyed Jack, and it's a wild card, so it's my Knight of Cups, okay? And that was after the Nine of Cups, your wishes and your desires. That's what you're going to do. Now, they wanted me to read this. It says, a classic romance. That's what they're trying to get you not to have. They'd rather have you in the relationship of who they're talking about in Shout at the Devil. I am in touch with my emotions. They also want you to keep your emotions in check, and it's better to be lonely than be in a toxic relationship. A passionate soul that's artistic, tendencies of creativity, wearing his heart on his shoulder, wearing your heart on your sleeve, seeking connection, being in love with the idea of love. So it's better to be in the idea of love, standing in I want love, than be in a toxic relationship. Okay, so it keeps saying that wild card, Knight of Cups. Okay, then we go right into the Tower card again. There's the two Tower cards. Now they're surrounding the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups. And the spell works, see? So that's what they're doing. This whole first part here is trying to get you not to get your wishes and your desires, not to get what you manifested. So that's why you have to stand and shout and say, no, I am, I can. 10 of Wands, put an end to it. Okay, so we've got God's judgment. Let God take care of this. I'm drawn to the kitty up there again. Yep, that's a perfect picture of how we should stand and shout at the devil. Be in your Knight of Pentacles state, they're saying. Be stable, be a leader. Don't be acting all out of balance. Be calm, cool, and collective is what I heard. Your children are being watched over by angels. That's why I said it's not so much about your pets and you. It's about this marriage. Now, the Queen of Dynamism is the Queen of Swords. I've called her the Queen of Cups before, and I've caught myself calling some of these cards wrong, but that's not wrong. It's what I say. It's not what you read. Okay? So if I call her a Queen of Cups, that's what's coming through, even though it looks like it says the Queen of Swords. But this is definitely all about truth, and I'm drawn to her higher self. Keeps talking to her. Put the sword into what needs to be put into, which is right here. The sword is going right into the devil. Now, these cards I wanted to explain because the home card came up in reverse, and then these two cards fell out sideways. So what this is telling me is that your marriage, the Four of Wands, is being messed with. Future marriage, the one you're in, that's truth. It's not about your children and your pets. It's about your marriage, future, or now. Relationship. They don't want you to get your castle. They don't want you to manifest. They don't want this coming true. Okay? Who's they? Anyone that works for him. This is Mr. Devil here. See how they're chained together? He's got everybody chained to what he wants them to do. I'm drawn to the chains. Okay? So your home, again, that's why I told you make sure your security system's on, your doors are locked, but you don't have to be chained in your house. You have protection. But what do you call it? That's what they're attacking. You know, sometimes they attack certain things specifically. Right now, it's the home upside down. Not so much you and your pets, but your home life. You get what I'm saying? Your relationship, future or now. So we've got to get a new perspective on this, and the only thing we can do is stand and laugh. Stand and laugh, okay? Now I want to pull a few cards off of the Hanged Man because this new perspective that we're supposed to get, what do they want to tell us about this new perspective? Besides being the wild card, not wearing your heart on your sleeve to be naive and stupid, but be more in love, put an end to this Ten of Wands. And then we've got the Two of Spades, which is you're going to have to make a decision. Now, the decision could be, well, I'm going to leave this toxic marriage and go to my divine marriage. And even if I have to stay single, or even if I'm lonely, then that's the way it has to be. Or you can stay in your toxic relationship, and those two towers are coming in no matter what. You're getting two towers in your future. How you handle them, are you going to stand and laugh and live in the solution, or are you going to let them turn you into what Motley Crue is talking about? Okay? I think you understand, but what I'm getting here is just this overwhelming feeling of you got this, stand and laugh, and just let it roll off your back and let it go. Okay? Knight of Pentacles. Let's see what they all want to tell us. Knight of Pentacles and the King of Wands. So, keep going towards your abundance. That Nine of Cups, that wishes and desires. It says open new doors after that. And then it says balance leads to contentment. So balance it out. Get on your horse, start going, drawn to the yellow and the blue, and I'm drawn to the color of my dress is the same color that he's wearing. So go towards your girl or guy that is your divine partner. Go towards your abundance. He's got that pentacle in his hand. So the blue is also throat chakra. And then I've got the King of Wands, and I'm drawn to the blue again, all over in the yellow. And I'm drawn to him just sitting there using his creative powers. And that's what I read in the book. The book I read about being creative. The Knight of Hearts. The Knight of Cups. Let's read a little bit more on that. The classic romantic invites you to step into a world of roses, bubble baths, and champagne, and is fully devoted to you, and maybe for every day. And that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this Knight of Pentacles also, but I'm drawn to his outfit. I'm drawn to him going towards the girl and the guy in the blue. Guy or girl, whatever you are. And the Knight of Wands, you've got the orange. He's very creative. He's getting everybody arrested. That's good. Arrest them, guys. Okay, this is not fantasy, but this is the Ten of Cups as the outcome. You're going to have your wishes and your desires. And I've told you that. Now, the Five of Swords I'm seeing here too, saying keep balanced, because there are challenges. This ain't going to be easy. You're going to have to stand up and shout at the devil. You're going to have to stand up and laugh, okay? Wheel of Fortune next. Transformation is what I'm getting. A turning point. Okay? Past is the past. Lessons learned. Friendships, third party, Three of Cups, communication. You've got friends, you've got solid soul team. They're just an astro. You might not have a lot of people here in physical form, but you've got lots of people in astro. And then the Two of Wands, okay? So there's lots of possibilities. Be courageous and daring. And your outcome is the Knight of Swords. So we've had the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords, and this is a successful, determined truth seeker. So do you see what three knights are? Three knights are major action. The Queen tells the knight to go take care of business. It's like the security team yesterday. Those are like knights, right? They're more like knights on their way to a king, but they're knights. You've got two towers coming in. One is because they're doing spell work, and two is because they're trying to keep your home and your divine partnership from you, from your manifestation. So you need to go within and use that High Priest energy. And that was the second card, right? That High Priestess yesterday, right? Remember that? High Priest again to end it. Go within, use your gut feelings, use your intuition, use your third eye, okay? And we got this. We don't need to keep going on this. You got the message. The message is loud and clear, okay? It's simple. Stand and laugh, shout at the devil, and send out the knights. We just got a whole new team. We hired and fired, we got a whole new team, and last night they showed us that we did the right job by picking them, because I had a very peaceful night. So I want to thank you, and really thank you. I feel really refreshed today. So, okay, you guys, I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.